talk to you for just a few minutes, who has made a decision about his career here at Mayfield High School. So I'm not going to take a lot more of your time. Our head football coach, Paul Leahy.
Thank you. You all, I wanted to get everybody together today and to do this at this particular time to end any speculation of what the decision was going to be. I think there's been quite a bit of talk. I think it's one of the premier football jobs in the state of Kentucky, and I've been very proud to hold this position for the last 6 years. But I wanted to make this announcement formally that I do, as of today, will retire as the head football coach, or resign rather, as the head football coach of Mayfield High School. I've been involved here for 28 and a half years, was an assistant coach for 22 of those, and the head coach for the last 6. Like all things, I think, in life that you genuinely love, it's going to be a very difficult thing to do. This is all I've done my adult life, is work in, I think, the best school system in the state of Kentucky. And I've had that honor to be a part of this program for the last 28 years. Following me into this position, already on staff, will be Joe Morris. I think most people locally are very aware of Coach Morris. He was an outstanding player. He's been on our faculty now and is an assistant coach and athletic director for 9 years. He worked as a paraprofessional for 3 years even prior to that. So even at his young age, he's going to step into this position with 12 years of coaching experience. I believe this program is so sound from top to bottom, from the 4th grade all the way through the 12th grade, that this program will not miss a beat. It didn't. When Coach Morris stepped out, we were able to continue not just winning, but the excellent tradition that we have here at Mayfield High School, and I don't think that's going to change one bit. Now, I guess when you do one of these things, do we field questions from there? Anybody? I don't know. I've talked to some people. I've talked to our school people about the possibility of staying on part-time. I've been in the classroom all 28 years. I'm the chairman of the social studies department here, and I've loved that classroom, and that would be a very appealing thing to come over and maybe teach about 3 periods a day and stay involved with our kids and with the athletic programs. I've also talked about to people in the outside business world, and there have been a few opportunities presented to me there. So right now, it's really kind of an open field. I'm not sure where I'll go from here. I think one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life. I think in life, you've just got to do what you think you need to do at the correct time. If I'd have stayed another year or two, it would have been as difficult to give up after 30 years as it is right now after 28 and a half. We had another outstanding year. We finished the year 14-1. We had the opportunity to win a state championship. We didn't quite get it done, but we went into that ball game undefeated with all you can ask from the high school level, and that was the opportunity to win it all. So I feel like if you're going to go out on a high note, and we were able to do that this last year. I look back over this program, and there are so many things you have to be appreciative of. We've got an outstanding administration here. We have terrific facilities, from weight rooms to practice fields. We've got essentially, I believe, everything it takes to have a first-class football program. The coaches that I've worked with back over the years, I learned so much as an assistant for 22 years. Mayfield High School has been in the state championship 12 times. I know people my age, people that have worked in the coaching profession for 30 years that never had the opportunity to even play in a state championship game. And I've had the opportunity to be on the sideline 12 different times, working under people like Jack Morris, Joe David Smith, Lewis McDonald. I think I learned so much from each one of those guys, how to conduct myself on the sideline, how to deal with kids, how to prepare for a ball game. Lewis McDonald was an outstanding classroom teacher, and I watched that guy work, and I kind of modeled myself after him, and I've been in that classroom all these years. I guess the bottom line feel that it's the right thing to do for me at this time of my life. I think the biggest change that I can see in all my years here is what happened to Mayfield High School enrollment-wise. You know, the football's been outstanding all these years. I was so fortunate coming out of college, not even knowing where I was going to end up, to get in a program that is as tradition rich as this one. But we had 800 students here in the middle 70s. We're down to about 390. Yet the quality of our programs hasn't diminished at all. You know, when I look at all the different things we do, you know, I think it's a real tribute to the school system and to the kids and the athletes and the students that we've had, that even though we went from 800 to 400, we've maintained the quality of what we do. You know, I look back over the years, I think about in the last 6 years alone, we've got 20 plus all-state athletes from a small high school like we've got right here. You know, there are football teams that'll have an all-state kid maybe once every 5 years. We've had over 20 in the last 6 alone, and I can go all the way back to the early 1970s. It's just been a terrific program. I've always said, if you're going to do what I do for a living, I can't believe, I just can't imagine a better community to be involved in than the one I've been so fortunate to be in. I think the camaraderie that you establish with your coaches and the kids, I think that'll be the hardest part. I've been in the classroom for all these years. I've gotten to know no telling how many thousands of students. I've coached hundreds and hundreds of football players. I see them on the streets. I see them in stores all the time. It's a great relationship. I'm going to miss the men that I've worked with all these years. I'll still be around to be a part of things, I hope. But working with them on a daily basis, I think, is the hardest thing to deal with. Well, I went into this year really thinking that it was going to be my last. I mean, I wasn't even sure up until a couple of weeks ago. But I think the fact that we were the first undefeated team in 20 years in a program that won state championships during that 20-year period, but I think that's a major accomplishment for a young bunch of guys. We went into that finals game 14-0. We finished the regular year 10-0, and playing the schedule we do with some of the 4As and in-state and out-of-state teams. I think, you know, every year we have a group of kids come along, seniors especially, that are scared to death they're not going to maintain the winning tradition we have here. And our kids put a lot of pressure on themselves. We expect a lot out of our kids, and they always live up to their expectations. All the years put together, I'd have to say that the last one was really as enjoyable as any I can remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's tough. I've always said, you know, that an athlete at Mayfield High School has the privilege of playing in 3 Tillman games, and I was involved in 28 of them. That was one of the highlights of any football season. It's the second oldest rivalry in the state of Kentucky, and to see two communities really have that mutual respect for one another and lay it on the line like we do, that was always one of the highlights of the year. But every time I walked into a ball game and on a field, I kind of stood there and tried to drink it in and hold it in, thinking, well, this is the last time that I'm going to be here, the last time we're going to be there. But again, I look back on it, and the good outweighs the bad so much. I think coaching and dealing with young kids is kind of a roller coaster ride. I mean, you go through the highs and the lows. Mr. Tringham and I were talking this morning before school. I think you get so close to your athletes and so close to the kids because you go through that full range of emotion. I mean, you're laughing and jumping up and down with them when you win a state title. You're crying with them when you lose that opportunity. So I think when you go through that full range, you really get the fulfillment of what it's like to deal with young kids. You know, I've always thought, looking at our little community here, our community trusts us to do the job with the most precious thing they have, and that's their kids. And they turn those children over to us to let us do the best we can. They support you every way they can. They don't interfere with your work. They stand in there behind you. We've got outstanding fans. We've got a terrific booster club. And honestly, when I think of everything you need to have a quality program, we have that right here at Mayfield High School. One other thing I thought of when I was trying to think of all the people that I need to appreciate and to thank, one of them is the West Kentucky Coaches Association. It's a very close group. I was given some honors voted on by those men, and I really appreciate that. I don't think there's a higher compliment than to be awarded with your peers. And when you get selected like last year, the coach of the year in the WKC, that means more to me than any other award you could get. They're the people you're with day in and day out. I even got an award, and I never thought it had happened, from the West Kentucky Referees Association. And I don't know if that was get out of here and hang it up award or what it was, but we've got a great relationship. We've had teams want to join our conference because of the quality of the officiating we have here. And they see us on the sideline, jawing and mouthing one another every now and then. But I think there's a great deal of respect in West Kentucky for the football that's played, for the men from school to school that coach it, and for the quality of the referee we have on that field. And I was very proud of that award. It was named after Joe Russell, the assigning secretary, for a lot of years. Another thing, we got the J.O. Lewis Award again this year. 3 times in the last 6 years, Mayfield High School was selected as the school that demonstrated the most outstanding sportsmanship. So, you know, a part of coaching is teaching a kid how to handle winning, how to handle losing. It's very easy to win. It's tough to lose. You got to bite that old bullet and swallow hard. But I think we've been able to do that, and that's an award given for our cheerleaders, for our fans, for our administrator, and also for the way that our kids conduct themselves on the field. So I think, you know, we've been rewarded in many, many ways, and I appreciate all the people that we've been working with. I've got a lot of people that'll say you're an idiot. You know, I'd give anything I ever had to be a coach in a program like that. Believe me, I'll be sitting around second guessing myself about this decision for a long time to come. I feel like without a doubt the program's going to be in outstanding hands. We'll get Coach Morris the microphone here in a minute. He is a quality guy, an outstanding young coach. And this program, believe me, it'll continue to roll just like it has for the last 30 years. Mayfield High School has the winningest football team in the last 30 years in the state of Kentucky, in any class. I know we hear about the St. X's and the Trinities and the Beechwoods. No football team has won more games since 1970 than Mayfield High School, and I feel very proud to be a part of that.
Well, I think
What we were talking about a while ago, and I believe me, I know where Coach Morris is coming from, sitting here right now. I remember back in I guess it was about this same time in 1993 when his dad was stepping out of it. Here's a guy that won 254 games and lost only 50. And I was sitting in, and I remember the Courier-Journal had made the remark that, you know, I was in the biggest hot seat in the state of Kentucky. How do you come in and surpass what had already been done? And I know that Coach Morris is going to put more pressure on himself than anybody in this community will, than any one of the kids will. You know, you're so concerned that you're not going to be able to maintain the quality of what's been done. Our kids are aware of that, and believe me, our coaches are too. When I look back at Mayfield, the community, when you think of the thing that really put this town on the map, it was football. You know, and I know we do more here than to play football, but if you're up in Ashland, Kentucky, and where are you from, Mayfield, well, they play football there. You'll hear that in Southern Illinois, West Tennessee, and Southeast Missouri. I think, you know, it's something we take a great deal of pride in, and Coach Morris is going to feel that pressure of trying to maintain it. I was given the program just like he's getting it now. We were the state runner-up in 1992, and I was the head coach in 93. We were the state runner-up here in 1998. Coach Morris is going to come in there with the staff that's intact and keep right on going. So we got great young quality kids coming, and the program will keep on winning. Believe me. Oh no. No, but I always tell the story. I remember we got back one year from the state championship game, got off the bus, and I wasn't in the gym doors. And an old fella here, that I won't mention names, an old guy here told me, I said, I didn't put my suitcase down. He said, there's no reason for us not to go back and do that again next year. I mean, I thought, well, let us enjoy for maybe 10 minutes a state championship before we start worrying about next year. But that's the way this community is. They have high expectations of us. We transfer that right over to the kids. I think when you expect and demand a lot, you're going to accomplish a lot. And it's gone on around here for a long, long time. You know, we'd all love to take credit for what, but you cannot. It's gone on for too many years for any one person to take credit for what's happened here. Yes, yes. You know, and I think our kids are. When we go somewhere, when we come on the field to start a ball game, you can sense that. I think playing football here, honestly, it's kind of a state of mind. You know, our kids have their head up, they got their chest out. They represent the winningest team in the last 30 years. They represent a team that's been in the championships 12 different times, you know, in the last 30 years. I think they are very proud to lay it on the line and go out there and to represent what they feel is the best football team. Now, on the other hand, they're aware that everybody we play, boy, they're laying low for you. I mean, beating Mayfield would literally make a season for a lot of schools. So we really stress to our kids, you better be ready every Friday night, because no matter who we play, they're going to be ready for us. And I think our kids, as Coach Morris mentioned, they love that challenge. I mean, they kind of thrive on that. So I think that's what keeps it the continuation of what's gone on for so long. You know, I think the test of time is really the test. Anybody can have a load of talent and have a great year with a bunch of outstanding kids. It's doing that year after year after year that really shows the quality of a program. And that's why we take so much pride in it here at Mayfield.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and we'll end this by number one, Coach Leahy.
Thank you, sir.
We enjoyed it. Coach Morris, it's yours. Looking forward to it.